Hello everyone, this is Rosasmita Bikram Singh, a research scholar from Civil Engineering Department, NIT Rourkela. Today I want to present my seminar topic on disaster management among the pandemic, effective epidemic response for flood disasters. As you know, on the eve of 2020, a new strain of coronavirus named COVID-19 was reported from Wuhan, China, and how it is affecting the lives worldwide, and so also other disasters are taking a U-turn in many parts of the world. This video is meant to aware people about how to get prepared during the dual disasters. These are my contents for which we will be proceeding. So first I'll introduce you with my topic. The world is facing difficulties in managing disasters, blocking efforts to slow the spread of COVID-19. The gap between the resource needs and availability during the critical disasters develop. This discrepancy is worse due to the global supply chain disruptions or delays in the severe pandemic. The inaccurate response to floods is caused by the spread of COVID-19, causing the human damage and economic damage. So I have taken certain case studies of the disasters which many countries have faced during this time. In Canada, the province of Manitoba and the city of Ottawa have battled the flooding caused by the snow melt, protecting response workers from COVID-19. In Japan, local governments have suspended volunteers engaged in rehabilitation in areas devastated by the typhoon Hagibis in February 2020, delaying the recovery from disaster. So also the cyclone Amphan caused havoc in India and Bangladesh. So you can see how the countries have faced the difficulties in this time of pandemic, so also they are managing both the disasters at a time. So it is very difficult for the organizations to maintain this thing, but if you have a good planning and management, then you can go for any kind of disaster management. So the objective of my study is to propose policies and procedures for the management of floods and dual disasters. It also reviews the contribution of organizations in the field of humanitarian assistance, water and sanitation, disaster management and health. So there are certain practices we have to go for to respond to the COVID-19. First one is your human security. COVID-19 poses a threat to human safety along with the survival or well-being of the people. Relevant organizations increase the ability to respond to public safety and empowerment by adopting a human security policy. Next one is a human dignity. Respect for human activities is fundamental to the response activities. When people are afraid of being tainted with COVID-19, they can hide the disease because of the discrimination. Next is the community engagement. Washing hands and focusing on social difference requires the full participation of communities to promote the hygiene. Next is a Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction and health emergency disaster risk management framework. It complies with international health regulations by incorporating infrastructure, climate change and economic considerations into policies and mitigating threats to the health of the global population. Next one is your water and sanitation. How we will take care of the water and the sanitation of the people. This is the most important, and proper hand hygiene is to prevent the infection with COVID-19. WASH experts and organizations can promote to facilitate good hygiene practices. There are certain measures to be followed for an effective epidemic response. They are: establish an emergency operations center. And next is here, continually assess the needs, identify resources and plan for response, implement the response and prepare for the community recovery. So these are certain measures for which we have to take care of the people, and take the precautions according to it, so that they will not be getting affected due to the dual disasters. Next is establish an emergency operation center. So what we can do here, so work from a shared physical location and identify the pandemic response sector representatives, include many already identified municipal leaders and disaster response personnel, serve as a center of all pandemic planning and response, and support the needs of all responders. Next is assess the needs, identify resources and plan for the response. So develop a resource list. So what resources are required for this area? Develop a municipal resource map. We have to prepare a map for which we can have the supply chain in many different areas. Next is here, identify the gaps and plan to address them. So we have to see what are the limitations occurring on that, and we have to identify those. Then implement the response. Update the latest pandemic information and period of time to be covered by the plan, update of the resource list and resource map, objectives to be achieved during the coming shift, delegation of work detailing which EOC sector, expected weather forecast, as this can greatly impact mobility of resources and transport of personnel, reminder of personal protective measures. So how we will be prepared for the community recovery? We should have a strong municipal pandemic management. We should reduce the fear and restore the confidence of people. So we have came to the conclusion of the topic. They are the disaster management, water humanitarian assistance and healthcare organizations have provided guidelines and procedures for responding to COVID-19. It was developed by reconstructing and enhancing the existing actions and practices identified through review actions in the respective areas. Human security in particular is meant to protect vulnerable groups from a human security perspective. Local organizations and associations play an important role in disaster management. As the disaster management experience suggests, various organizations including health and water must be coordinated to take the action. These are the certain references that I have referred during my study. Thank you so much for bearing me for such a long time, and I hope so it will be helpful for you for the future ahead. Thank you.